trail. Let's have fun. Question. Do you know where your food and supplements come from? How's it going? Holy cow, after that whole thing, that's amazing. It's like coming on after the band, the good band played, and then the, but that's, I mean, that's what it's about, right? And you know, it's fun to have these videos and stuff, and it's fun to see that, but less about me. I want to tell you something about me. The real reason I do that, after supplying a need that I had years ago for nutrient-dense, healing foods. And those people on the stage are representations. You are the representations of what I desire to continue to do, and that is this. One of my purposes here is to find, provide, and be a conduit for some of the greatest botanicals in the world so that you can get the benefit of them, i.e. your body, thereby giving your body the freedom to not pull you back so that you can actually live your purpose that is not your body, right? So that's the reason, and I need you to know that about me. And Beachbody is a vehicle for that to happen, aside from the nice little beautiful package and the marketing stuff. This is real stuff. This is Darin. The person talking to you here is someone who's dedicated his life to that mission. Because, thank you. Because I told myself a long time ago that I want to live my life, super life. I want to live it at the highest level, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And guess what happens? If we're physically limited, it's very difficult, to live your purpose that's beyond your dreams and all of that stuff. It's very hard when your body is sick and tired and fatigued and drained and can't recover and fatigued in the morning and all, you know what I mean? You get that? So, I am someone who's actually not obsessed about the body or foods. In fact, I've just created a whole bunch of habits, and I happen to be exposed to some really great food that are, like Hippocrates said, food is the medicine. And this delivery system, this weird world that we've now created with low quality food, but a lot of it, we're deprived on a cellular level. And if your cells are struggling, your body is going to break down eventually. So a little, and these are notes for me because I have like 15 minutes to talk about health, which is like impossible. I always kick myself, like, what was I thinking? Like, I need to focus on something, but then I want to give you so much, and then, that's my dilemma. So, but, one of my missions is to get Beachbody more education, more information so that you guys can know, and then you can do with more power. Knowing, doing, and then experiencing, now that's right in line with everything else of being an advocate for health, way beyond selling products, right? We need to be an advocate. I've never sold Shakeology once in my life, ever. People ask me things about it, I tell them. 99.9% of the time they go, shit, I gotta drink that. It's true. I mean, it's literally true. One situation was my wife, she was having, we thought it was an appendicitis attack, and we went to the emergency room in Santa Monica, and we went down. It was a horrible situation. I haven't been in the hospital in that way in so long, and the doctor had a bedside manner of the chair that you're sitting in. Like, it was horrible. But the nurse came in, and she eventually, we're there all bloody day. And eventually she said, what do you do? And I said, well, I did this thing, I superfood hunt. She was like, what? And like, oh, I've heard of Shakeology. And then she actually just rifled questions at me, like, whoa, she knows something. I'm like, okay, let's get into it. We got into it. I ended up hiring her, and she ended up converting and understanding a whole bunch more. The point is that the more we learn, the more power we have. So you don't have to be me, right? But trusting the company, trusting Carl, trusting myself, trusting Isabel, who also has dedicated her life to this stuff, that's the most important thing, no? So I'm going to talk a little bit about, I've burned plenty of time already, but, God, crack myself up sometimes. Like, I have nothing to say. What am I going to talk about? And then I just keep talking. Micronutrients. So ultimately, this is a very boring subject, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because, let me just give you a tiny bit of what the hell are micronutrients. Well, micronutrients are substances, elements, that the body requires on a trace level to activate the body and let the body activate its enzymes, activate the metabolism, turn on the immune system, disrupt the anti-aging mechanisms, all of that stuff. And what are those? Those are vitamins, minerals, fat-soluble vitamins, water-soluble vitamins, magnesium, potassium, sodium, molybdenum, all of these weird things. Plus, there's phytonutrients. These other small compounds, these things you hear, antioxidants that fight the disease-causing destruction that goes on just naturally in the body, and then plus toxins that we get from our environment accelerates that. The point is that I could spend 2 months talking to you about that, and maybe one day we create a program where we get into the weeds and we really educate you, but that's not the most important. Cool, so yeah, bug Carl, we'll create that. So it is important because of this. I don't want you, this is my philosophy to you, macronutrients, think of them as, the carbs, proteins, and fats. That's largely a determinant of calories, right? It's kind of like carbs, protein, fats. We need it. It's the energy resource of the body, and it provides some building blocks and all of that stuff. And it's not important. But the most important thing, which is relevant to us, which is not about Shakeology getting the carbs, proteins, and fats correct, which it does. It's really about preserving the micronutrients that was once, I brought a little friend. Anyone have any idea, if you can see that, have any idea what this is? It's in Shakeology. Good, it almost looks like a mini chaga mushroom, but it's not. It's a maca bulb. It's a little tuber from maca. Technically, it's illegal that I have it, but you won't tell anyone, right? I actually know a very good friend of mine is the head of biopiracy for the Peruvian government. That's how long I've been in Peru, preserving some of the endemic superfoods to certain areas. Mission of mine is to allow cultures to benefit from what they have traditionally grown and traditionally used. Ultimately, that's what led me around the world to go, if it is my responsibility, if I'm formulating with this and I'm gonna give them to you and you and you, it's not good enough to do a Google search and get nerdy in a book, although that's fun too. I need to show up. I need to get my hands dirty. I need to meet the farmers. I need to see how they grow it. And then the cool thing about Beachbody, I'm totally going off script, by the way. I haven't even changed the slide. You notice that? The cool thing about Beachbody is then they supply, and this is again a message that we need to get out more. They send audit teams, quality assurance teams out to those places to test, make sure the quality is there of our ingredients, of our superfoods, because there's two things: toxins, microbiological activity that we do not want, and there's also active compounds that are in, for example, this maca bowl. This thing's called maca meats, maca beans, the adaptogenic quality that allows this to, when you consume it, to help your body deal with stressors. Because this little bloody thing has gone through stress just trying to survive at 15,000 feet plus when nothing else grows. It's kind of cool, isn't it? That there's a synergy. Like, I don't know about you, but that's kind of interesting how, okay, we're on this planet, these plants grow, oh, we eat these plants, they make us better, we excrete those things, give them back, and then it just continues. It's a weird thing that we have, unfortunately, trusted companies to create food, which is only posing as food, but is nutrient deprived. So the thing that I'm gonna focus on is, God, I'm just totally. So each micronutrient is an avenue. It's an avenue that turns on certain aspects of the body or turns them off. For example, the sunshine vitamin, which is technically a hormone, vitamin D. So if I go out in the sunshine with no sunblock, by the way, expose myself, and if you're fair-skinned, make sure you use a healthy sunblock after a period of time, but I'm not gonna get into that or else legal's gonna throw me out. So if I get sunshine, it activates the cholesterol that's within my dermis of my skin and allows for the uptake of calcium. Guess what? If you're taking a bunch of calcium and you don't have vitamin D, you haven't exposed yourself, or you've taken vitamin D3, which is a safe supplement to take, if you've taken not enough of that, your calcium absorption basically is non-existent. And there you keep taking calcium, the traditional doctor, notice I said traditional doctor, who doesn't know much about nutrition, says you need more calcium because your bones are breaking down. So you take more of this calcium, that is a supplement that certain supplements can't really absorb in the body, and then that creates further problems of the kidney, the certain aspects of the body needing to deal with a molecule that's a little too big to deal with. It doesn't have vitamin D, it can't absorb the calcium, and thereby you continue this perpetual motion. The point is that you don't necessarily have to follow me, but you follow me enough to know that there's this alchemy, there's this synergy. And the cool thing about this plant relationship is that the plants are the largest and the best source of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all of these things. So when we consume a lot of them, and fresh, and full, and ranges, and how do we get ranges? Look at the colors. The colors of vegetables are signals in the environment that they have different constituents. Green, converting sun energy and photosynthesis into beneficial compounds that help clean your body, help initiate metabolism, help the structure of your body repair and recover. Amazing. And then you look at the red foods that have a lot of beta carotene and fat-soluble vitamin A and all of these things. So the point is that, do you need to know nutrition? No. But you should know, because you have a body, right? And don't vote with your attention, your time, and most importantly, your money on companies that are giving you poor quality food, because you're gonna get poor outcomes. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's see what the slides say, shall we? It's crazy. So again, I talked about the vegetables, organic fruits. And again, organic means that the funny thing about organic is that that's how it always was. And just a little thing, I don't want to open up Pandora's box, but just a little thing, some of the superfoods that are in have been grown and they've never been certified. They're always wild harvested, wild collected, out in the jungle, all of that stuff. Sometimes we don't choose to put the burden of the cost of certification on the farmer when the farmer's actually abiding by the rules, the regulations that we have set, and dare I say, sometimes higher standards and more testing than, say, a certification. So I just wanted to say that. It's a big topic, but if you and I could lock the doors and spend 2 weeks in here, we can get into all that. But yeah, you want to do that? And I said this at the last talk, bug Carl. We need more information so that we can activate you more. But also, I want you to know that there's this special relationship that we have with these superfoods. I know for me, I was very protective of my relationships when I formulated this thing. Isabel and I formulated this thing, and then okay, I had relationships before Beachbody around the world, and now Beachbody corporate wanted to come on a trip with me, and I was like, oh shit. Like, I just thought I was formulating this little thing. I don't need any suit coming and, So I was very protective of them. So I told all the farmers, at least this certain area in Peru, I said, listen, I don't know this guy. He was the old COO, Seth Tuckerman, dear friend. He was coming, I really barely knew him, and I just told all my farmers, I said, listen, if he says anything to you that you don't like, or you're not being treated properly, tell me immediately. Because that's the special relationship. We have a whole sub-story here that Shakeology is really starting to influence. Okay, and I talked a little bit about some of the Peruvian farmers that I've known for a long time, and one of which I'm sticking with maca because it's like, I was gonna say bulging out of my pants, but I guess I did say it. So I couldn't help myself. But the Peruvian, I digress. The Peruvian farmer I met the first time in maybe 2003, 2004, this big. The woman controlled the farm. Sat around tables, meeting with her, getting to know, understand, going out to the fields, and largely that little producer has been largely producing with us from the beginning, and she bought a new house, extended family, helped her family, so it's like there's a lot of good that's happening. So, God, I'm not even following this, it's just a running joke right now. So superfoods, okay, so why did Isabel and I have, her and I had a synergy. She had the same point of view as me, like, listen, we're deprived here. We need nutrient-dense foods as compared to other foods. They just don't have the bang, so we need to get the bang. And a lot of those have been epidemiologically used for tens of thousands of years. So let's go find them, let's go use them, and let's get them into a formula. And that's ultimately what it is. Some of my favorites, moringa, turmeric, and I found this nut. It's not gonna be in Shakeology because it's a nut. Well, it's technically a legume, but it's out of Brazil. It's unbelievable. But the point is that there's a need for superfoods, there's a need for Shakeology, and we haven't even yet begun to tell the story and get it to the people that require it, the nutrient bath, the micronutrient bath that Shakeology is. And that's really the most important thing, that adding that up over time gives your cells and ultimately what your body needs. That's why people start feeling better once they start consuming these types of things, okay? Does that make sense? I'm out of time. How cool is that? So I'm gonna go over a little bit. How about that? You guys have a problem with that?
No.
Okay, so the thing I want to talk about, hold on, okay, tracking. I'm probably not going to talk about water, because if you want to look up water, I have talks on a book, I have a chapter devoted to it. Water is very, very essential for transporting nutrients, communicating with the body, flushing things out, turning things on. Number one symptom of dehydration is fatigue, so don't reach for coffee, reach for water first, okay? That was my 10-second talk on water. Cool. Where am I going? What's happening? Sing me a song. Welcome to my brain. So I talked about colors, right? There's an interesting thing that I'm doing a beta test on myself personally through SuperLife. So if you want to potentially be part of the beta test, we got together with some NASA engineers who are doing research for the Institute of Medicine's research on how much nutrients a regular person needs every day, and the USDA, what regular food has in that. So coming together with that research, we have a grading system. So if you or I put our nutrients in that food, in the column every day, then it will grade you based on your micronutrients. How cool is that? So it's like basically saying, okay, I had Shakeology for breakfast, I had a small salad, and a donut for lunch, and then for dinner I had a burrito. And you put all that in, and it will tell you what you're depleted in, or where you're starting to be depleted, and give you a suggestion of food that will help bring up those micronutrients. So we're doing a little, yeah, it's kind of cool. So I want your feedback on it, because I'm still debating whether people will really take the responsibility even doing that so that they can see, but ultimately it puts the joystick back in your hand. So that's part of tracking. Start to be aware of, number one, colors. Start to be aware of diversity of your food. We all eat kind of linearly, and I catch myself all the time going, okay, switch that up, try different greens, try different dressings, try different combinations of things, because that's your food medicine, okay? I think that's probably it. So yeah, okay. Well, you want to go back and start over and wherever I'm going. So anyway, hey, I just want to say I'm grateful to share with you. I want to do more of it. Bug Carl, let's keep going. Let's keep building this thing. UK is bloody exciting, but we also have a lot of people suffering here. And again, I am grateful to be here, and I am grateful to you. Thank you.